Hello, everybody. Anime Reflux. I would have liked to be here so you could pronounce this properly, so I get to butcher it again instead. El Cazador de la Bruja.
You could have asked me to say it. I speak Spanish, dude.
I speak Spanish to an extent as well.
Yeah, but Zero's Mexican.
That's
Ish.
racist.
Is he though? He's like a quarter.
He's he's really not.
Okay, this is starting to seem mean without him. All right, so, um, yeah, what I just said. The hunter of the patient. Please stop. I think that was patient. I assume that was patient. Was that patient? I should have paid attention to the thing. Anyway, yeah, the hunter of the goddess. Was that what it was? I think that's what it was. Yeah. The name of the girl suggests to me that, yeah, that's what it was. Because they did the translation thing, fucked it up again, where it's Ellis, where I have a sneaking suspicion it was probably supposed to be Eris.
Bruja does not mean angel, it means witch.
Ah, okay.
It translates to the witch hunter.
Okay. Yeah. I feel that's what they were going for in the original, and translators cocked it up again. It's Callan all over again. So that's it is what it is.
Present.
So yeah, this show has a soundtrack, and it's very excited about it.
That's a way to put it.
I mean, I there's not really much else for me to talk about. Okay. It opens with science, kind of pseudoscience, where the narrator is expositing there was a scientist that came up with a theory that there was a creature that could manipulate molecules, and because of that, it was possible to reduce entropy. So, the conservation of energy is a thing that can be flouted with the right circumstances. And then it gets debunked, and he presumably dies because that's the picture they're showing us, and it would be very strange for the narration and what's on screen to be completely disconnected with no connection whatsoever. So we then, I assume, jump forward in time where there is a girl that is of indeterminate age. I think she's supposed to be kind of young, I think. It's hard to tell with anime. You know how it is. They're weird. And she lives with an old lady, and the old lady wants something more than soup. So the girl's like, okay, and goes out to try and make money by doing card tricks, I think. Yeah. Meanwhile, there is presumably our hunter character trying to hitchhike and failing. She gets to the town, finds the girl doing card tricks, and is like, hey, you're this person, right? And holds up a photo. You're Ellis. The girl's like, no. And she's like, no, really, it's you. This is you. So, you're coming with me. And then a bunch of bounty hunters show up and try and shoot them.
And then anime happens where they keep shooting each other's guns instead of each other.
Like 6 times. Like, in fairness, I think only she does that. Which, protagonist has got to be moral and such. But
They do.
I'm assuming that's what they're going for with this character is, no, she's a bounty hunter, but she's a good one.
That's not fun.
I mean, Trigun did something similar.
Yeah, they did it in a way that was fun.
Yeah.
It was also established pretty much within the first 5 seconds of the show, I believe, that Vash is just silly and pacifist.
Yeah, they established he was pacifist, and with this character, it's not really clear whether that's what she's going for, or if she's just kind of a bad shot, but in a way that makes her a crack shot. It's hard to tell. Anyway. So, they escape, and the girl's like, oh, they're after me? Okay, I'm gonna leave. And jumps over a fence or something. It's like 6 feet, standing jump. And it's like, whoa! Is the reaction from the Hunter Lady, which seems... I mean, maybe anime spoiled me a little bit, but that actually seemed really kind of mundane in terms of anime physics.
Not really. It was a straight jump on a fence that was higher than she was. So
I had the same reaction. As far as superhuman feats go, that's like... I had a hard time believing that wasn't realistic.
You guys are ridiculous.
It's anime. Like... even in... supposedly serious shows, they have people doing stuff like that, and it's not even, no one bats an eye. It's a little, maybe that's a little unfair, but they decided to play in anime setting. So far, this could have just been a live action show, and it would have played a lot better, at least for that scene. Like, literally nothing in this seems like it requires any kind of animation. It's just they chose to go with animation. Except the fact that it's probably set in Mexico or some Latin American country.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. And that would require the showrunners to actually leave Japan, so that's probably not on the cards. The Hunter Lady chases down Ellis's house. Ellis is gonna bother me now. And there is the old lady, and she does fortune readings through beads. Somehow, I've never heard of this method of fortune telling, but okay.
It looked like corn.
It kind of did. There was a weird moment where, at the very beginning, the Hunter Lady finds the place right at the beginning and sees a sign that has corn on it, and she's like, fortune telling? And that's not...
That is not an association I would make instantly.
No, that's... I mean, maybe she's just really insightful. Who knows? So, yeah, she gets her fortune read, and the old lady's like, you will live in interesting times. Like,
yeah,
legit, that's pretty much all she says. You're going to have some ups and downs in your life, and maybe that doesn't have to be bad.
You had me going for a second there. If she had actually said you will live in interesting times, that would have been something.
That would have made the show like 12 times better. But no, we just got bleh.
Yeah. You're going to go through ups and downs in your life, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, is almost word for word what her quote-unquote fortune-telling says.
And that's saying literally nothing.
Yep.
That's everyone's life ever.
Yep. I found that funny. They talk about Ellis. Okay, now it's gone from just being kind of irksome that they probably got that name wrong to I just think of Left 4 Dead now every time I say it. So, they talk about her, and the old lady's like, yeah, she probably shouldn't come back here because, people are trying to kill her. So, look after her for me, and such. And the hunter leaves and finds the girl somewhere. I forget where. And it was on like a rooftop or something. And then there was an explosion, and Ellis runs off to find her old lady. And yeah, bounty hunters exploded the old lady. And
that escalated quickly.
Yeah, 'cause there was literally no reason to do that.
How did they even find the old woman? Like, how did they know that they were connected? Were they just
they saw
spying on her?
they saw the corn sign. It tells you everything you need to know. So, yeah, the bounty hunters are not very good at their jobs, and they do the thing where one dude pulls a gun on the girl, points it at the back of the head, and then the hunter lady is right behind him and also points a gun at the back of his head. Cool.
This had to happen. I mean, it's an Old West gun show. I mean, standoffs are the name of the game.
Yeah, and then they fucking win. I don't remember or particularly care how that happened.
Which girl has powers?
Right, yeah, she heats up... That's actually important. Yeah, she heats up the gun to the point where he has to drop it because it burns his hand, and then the powder cooks off in the shell casing. So the gun fires on its own and hits him in the face. Like sort of a grazing shot. It's pointed upwards at his face somehow, despite lying on the ground. That also was weird, but they sort of bypass him at this point and tell someone to get a doctor. And they go and see the old lady who's dying, and the music is super jazzed about her dying. Like, wow. Talk about unfitting musical cues. It's all super excitement music of, like, the battle's still going on, even though it ended, like, 2 minutes ago, and this is supposed to be a somber scene, but instead we've got all energetic music going on in the background, and not actually in the background because it's actually really loud for some reason. All supposedly underscoring this scene where a little girl is comforting her grandmother figure who is dying.
Look, we didn't have time to get to know that old lady. And look at the bright side. Now all of her fortune-telling corn is hers.
Clearly, that's where the power is in this universe.
Apparently.
The corn.
Corn and corn-related signposts. Yeah. So apparently a funeral or something happens off-screen, and the bounty hunters just politely stop trying to hunt Ellis, because they're in a church now. And then they're like, yeah, you should probably go with me. And she's like, yeah, okay. That's pretty much how that scene goes. More bounty hunters show up, and they're effeminate dudes from earlier in the episode that were being harassed by police. And the protagonists steal the car and leave. That's pretty much it. That's the episode. Oh, and there's scenes interspersed of a scientist dude, seemingly, or business dude or something, named Rosenberg, who has connections to Ellis and is very excited when he gets sent footage of the gun being heated up and going off. And there is a put-upon office worker that is supposed to be trying to get him to do stuff, but he refuses to do stuff, and then she gets harassed by other office lady, and it was a really weird scene that probably didn't belong in here, and also probably didn't deserve its musical scoring either, where it also had a very energetic and this is intrigue stuff happening, when really it's just a basic office scene of, man, that boss is so irresponsible, we need him to do this thing and he's not doing this thing. Man, well, you need to get on top of him and get him to do this thing, but I can't get him to do this thing. And again, all of it is underscored by intrigue music when nothing's actually happening. It was very strange.
I'm genuinely confused if this scene would play any differently if I was actually invested in the show by now. Like, this show just did not appeal to me in the slightest. Nothing happened. I was bored the whole time.
Yeah. I was entertained by the music choices more than anything in the actual show, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that office scene didn't need music. That fucking tearful goodbye, well, not tearful, because the Ella's character is the emotionless doll kind of stock archetype, but, you know, probably something a little more somber might have fit better. Like, that was all I got out of this episode. It's not great. Anyone else? Last thoughts?
I didn't really get anything out of the show. Like, it was just like there was enough where I could almost be interested in it, but it didn't really hook me. It was like, there might be something here, but it didn't do enough to keep my attention, enough to watch another episode of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything there, to be honest.
Yeah, what Kenji said, this show just didn't do anything. It was just broken tropes.
Thanks, Ken, for that.
Sorry, something fell. Like, just a wire fell. Not even near my headphones.
But anyway,
Like you put a Brillo pad to your microphone. Anyway.
It did. It's just kind of boring. The show it didn't do anything unique in the slightest. And when it tried, it just fell flat. It's like, yeah, she has powers. Ooh, great. She can jump a minute amount. Yay.
Anime has ruined us, you guys.
It really has.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it, I just call it having higher expectations.
Higher expectations for physics, though? That's...
Yeah!
Okay. Alright, I guess we're rolling, then. That was a thing that was not a thing, sadly.
I've got the list pulled up, and that's another one out of E. We've got almost half of the E's read out at this point.
Well, let's try and see what we can get this time. Unfortunately, it's not going to be E, or fortunately, depending on who you are, because it's 18.
18. That would be R S S.
18 like the android, or cyborg if you're Japanese.
Yeah, okay. A lot of S's.
So once again, we've hit on the by far the hugest category on this list. 200.
So money. Let's see what the money has it on. I don't know. There's a whole lot of stuff in here.
What's the number again, patient?
212.
All right, then. Well, out of 212, we get 195.
All right. Relatively close to the bottom. Let's see here. 8765.
Please don't be garbage.
Well, the start of it sounds like it. This week's winner is Sui Say No Gargantia. Gargantia on the Verdurous planet.
There's a dub.
There is. There's a robot. Kind of? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
We hear Gargantua. Were we expecting any?
Okay, how do you guys find these so fast? Do you just type them into Google or something?
I open up the Google anime page, find
When
a
I
letter,
hear-
and then
When I hear a number, I can pretty much guess what page it's on, and I'm usually right.
yeah, it's just pretty much that.
Fair enough.
Anyway. The story begins in the distant future in the far reaches of the galaxy. The human galactic alliance has been constantly fighting for its survival against the grotesque race of beings called the Hideous. Really?
Wow, really?
Really? Really? The Hideous.
Really? No, called hideous. There's no "the" there.
Yeah, that would have given them too much gravitas. They're just hideous. Cool.
Okay. Halo has the Flood. Warframe has the Infected. This type of enemy does not have good names historically.
Okay, well, flood, though, implies what they do. They just populate and infect and populate, and it's a descriptor of what they do. Hideous is just an insult. That's just
All
mean.
these dudes do is just look ugly.
Yeah.
Like a human. And maybe they're not even ugly to themselves. Maybe it's just to humans. And they're not supposed to be attracted to humans. So what the hell, humans?
The propaganda department got to name them. Anyway, during an intense battle, the young Lieutenant Red and his humanoid mobile weapon Chamber, Chamber is a name, by the way, humanoid mobile weapon Chamber, are swallowed up into a distortion of time and space. Waking from his artificially induced hibernation, Red realizes that he has arrived on the Pokemon world.
No.
On Earth. The planet on the Lost Frontier. Oh, it's another Earth is the Lost Planet thing. Okay. On this planet that was completely flooded by the seas, people live in fleets of giant ships, salvaging relics from the sea's depths in order to survive. Red arrives on one of the fleets called Gargantua, with no knowledge of the planet's history or culture. He is forced to live alongside Amy, a 15-year-old girl who serves as a messenger aboard the Gargantua fleet. To Red, who has lived a life where he knows nothing but fighting, these days of peace continue to surprise him.
Oh, so it's another one that could possibly be adjusting from war life to peace life. We didn't have a lot of good luck with Violet Evergarden, but perhaps this one will surprise us.
Well, this has a mech in it, so I'm sure there's going to be some kind of fighting.
Yeah, this summary reads as, hey, war is happening, there is an evil race of aliens, but that's not important. Let's go back to the nice home planet where there's just, peaceful halcyon days. Yay.
So it's Waterworld plus Gundam plus, I don't know, Mass Effect, I don't know.
More like Wing Commander.
Alright, so what's the word? We have enough for a group veto if we want to.
I'm not vetoing this.
No, it seems interesting enough. I mean, it's probably going to be boring, but hey,
Now, see, the only reason that I say that is that we've gone the entire year without a veto at this point.
Listen, we know we got them. You're just waiting for something to offend our sensibilities, whatever they may be, so much that you can't take it anymore.
I'm just using mine to veto your vetoes.
I don't think that's...
That's not a thing.
Damn it. Okay.
I mean, the worst this is going to be is boring. And I mean, it literally says this is boring in the summary. Like, all this interesting stuff is happening, but he's just kind of down here bumming around on the flooded Earth, and it's surprising how uninteresting his days are now. Okay, cool.
Let's see here. There it is. And...
Oh, I neglected to link it.
Oh. Now the dub summary spells it a different way.
Oh god, that's even worse, patient. Hideos, as in the end of that name is spelled as like gauze.
I like the first one better.
Hideos. Oh no. At least Hideous isn't trying to be pretentious. Like,
At the end of the dub summary, it says, faced with uncertainty and unable to communicate with his comrades in space, Leto attempts to get his bearings and acclimate to a new lifestyle. But his peaceful days are about to be short-lived, as there is more to this ocean-covered planet than meets the eye. So, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, at least that version basically says, hey, yeah, maybe the first couple episodes are kind of boring, but stuff will happen. Guys?
15 episodes.
Stuff will happen.
Better get to the point quick.
Let's see.
Why?
Because it's always amusing. Usually they talk about tits, regardless of whether there's tits. Oh, okay. So, first comment is, let's see how this pans out. And then, second comment, he comes back like 6 hours later. It's fucking amazing. Alright.
Cool.
Well, we've been pleasantly surprised before.
Alright, random dude on GoGo Anime, I'll listen to you.
And then the next comment on that is a picture supposedly from the anime where 3 girls in bikinis are fawning over the main dude and saying it feels good.
Alright, random person from GoGo Anime, I'll listen to you and your expert opinion.
I mean, evidently they watched the show if they can pull a screen grab from it. Alright, so we're watching the show about the hideous. I mean, we're watching a show about hideous. We're watching a hideous show next week. That's what we're watching.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got there. You got there eventually.
Yeah. It's hideous the amount of time it took me to figure out. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be back with more.
It's like Zero's with us in spirit.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.